We have a client who's going through our launch process right now. So excited, getting ready to launch their new audio and video podcast. And during our discovery, we determined that she was going to primarily host the show and have a co host who is an employee that works with her, somebody that's been her right hand person, knows her and the business inside out. And everything was like going great, and everybody was totally on board. But the co-host is going through a big life change right now, like literally going through a personal change, a geographic change, not a change with the business so much, but just a lot going on with her personally. So once this decision was made to have a host and a co-host and build the foundation on the show about that, the host emailed me and just expressed concern about launching a show and then what would happen if this co-host, for whatever reason, I mean, we can't predict the future, decided that she didn't want to be the co-host anymore, or that it was too time intensive, or just with everything that she was going through, just decided that maybe it just wasn't for her for right now, which made me think I really wanted to bring this to you today because the reality of the situation is that in podcasting, there's no rules. And that's one of the things that makes podcasting so incredibly popular. In this type of situation, she wanted to know what my expert recommendation would be. Should they just not do co-host at all and have her just, move on and build a different show? Because what if? And really was wanting to explore if that was going to damage the success of the show if they were to launch with a co-host and then that co-host wasn't there anymore. And the reality is we never really know what life is going to bring us. And at the same time, some of it is probably just a little bit of nerves of the unknown. So my recommendation to her, which might be helpful to you just in general about podcasting and there being no rules, is that the best thing that you can do, no matter what circumstances you're being faced with as a podcast host, is to just clearly communicate with your audience. That's what they just want. They just want to know what's going on. In traditional radio, especially several years ago, if a morning show was together and they were building this very loyal and just super passionate audience, and something was to change with that co-host and host situation, that morning show as a team could just disappear, or the host could just disappear, and no one ever talked about it and no one ever said anything. And the audience was left to speculate and wonder, where did they go? What happened? And so with podcasting, you have a really good opportunity to be transparent, to be yourself, to talk through life's challenges, to communicate with your audience about what is going on with you and with your team. And as a result of doing that, what you're going to do is make you a much more real person, because life happens to all of us, but it also keeps your audience engaged in a way that they feel closer to you because they know what the story is. And they also feel like they're not taken off guard or blindsided and wondering, once they get attached to you or to your co-host, what happened? Where did you go? So the lesson in this situation, in all situations that have to do with podcasting, whether you're taking a break and you're going to take the summer off and come back in the fall, or you're going to switch from every other week to once a month, or go and release in seasons versus monthly or weekly, the thing that you want to do is just be sure to communicate with your audience of the changes that are coming up, because if they're prepared, then they don't have to speculate. And they also feel like they're in the loop, which makes them feel more a part of your podcast community. And it's just so simple just to communicate, hey, this is what's going on with me. This is what's going on with our podcast. And that way, everybody wins.